connecting your brain and body with interactive games and tests. Why is there no physical activity in today's health physical? Trazer is an holistic technology used to rehabilitate, prevent falls, and improve sport performance. Trazer reports provide you, your clinician, your physical therapist, or athletic trainer objective data to make decisions on your health and performance over time. Measure what matters to change your game. Take the Trazer Challenge. Confidence, growth, connected by Trazer.
At Fusion Sport, we're all about driving human performance. We develop and support a range of technologies all designed to assist people to be their best. SmarterBase is used by hundreds of elite sporting organisations across the globe, and more recently has been used by the military and performing arts as well.
Our SmarterBase technology has at the heart of it an integrated and connected philosophy. What's different about SmarterBase is that it's truly flexible and self-engineerable. That really puts the power into our customers' hands, and it allows them to use it in unique ways that perhaps we haven't even thought of.
Between ourselves and the rest of the field, but here comes Jimmy Stone.
What's going on, everybody? Man, Eric Wilson here for the Sports Arena. So we finally are coming to the end of this journey here, giving you our early bird predictions when it comes to the 2021 NFL season. So as we said last night and also last week, we are finishing up doing the NFC West, New Orleans Saints, Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, and them Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So with that, let me get the entire crew in here. Our girl Megan Price from 806 Sports and the Tip Off. Hi, Ray. Let's see what Say It Again Sports Talk.
Yo.
Mike Caratanudo, Believe in the Pac-12 podcast. Who needs to get rid of that damn hack because I'm tired of looking at it. And last but truly not least, 6 seasons. This man has written for this team. He covered them during the Super Bowl media week, made a name for himself globally. Alex Fleming's in the building. How's everybody doing this evening? What's going on?
NFC South, bro. NFC South. Well, you said NFC West. NFC South.
You know, we all can't be as infallible as you are. So let's just
wait, Eric. Before we start, I just want to make sure that Ty and I are still friends because he sent me a tweet that he didn't like me, and I was kind of upset by that. He said he didn't like me no more after I just said, hey, I guess I was right on my prediction with the Lakers and Suns, and I didn't put anything on it, and he just said, I hate you right now. So I just want to make sure Ty doesn't hate me right now.
Hey, look, Mike, I just want to say this. Mike never tweets me. All of a sudden he want to start tweeting me. I'm just saying, but hey, I mean,
we're new Twitter friends, man. We're new Twitter friends, and I was tweeting. I tweet at you. Hey, I like your stuff. I'm gonna
just say this, man. More than one thing could be true.
All right. That's right. Absolutely.
I've been on record of saying I didn't like our roster as far as our shooters go.
I know you didn't.
LeBron is aging, and LeBron. I think he might have still been hurt too. I'm not making excuses. I'm not making no excuses, but more than one thing could be true. I think those three things are true. I don't like the shooting we had, losing Danny Green as good as he didn't play last year for us. Losing him was big, even though I did feel like we upgraded the point guard position with Dennis Schroeder. He didn't really show up. And AD, I mean, what can I say?
All right. Well, we're going to save that for the rest of the week and also moving forward. So before we get to our predictions, anybody who watched the show last night, Alex Fleming and Mike Caratanudo had a special guest joining to talk about those Atlanta, as Alex would say, Falcons. So we're welcoming him back here just for the first start of the show, just to kind of talk a little bit about the Atlanta Falcons. So please, if you will, Joe Carlino, DTSN, welcome in, sir. Good evening. How are you?
A little tired after a very nice, long, fun day at work.
All right. So, gentlemen, I'm going to let Mike, Alex, Joe, I'm going to give y'all about, for first 5-6 minutes just to kind of talk about the Falcons. Let's keep it civil, gentlemen. I let y'all have your fun last night, but let's talk about them Falcons. So, Mr. Fleming, I'm going to kick it over to you, sir.
This joke of a franchise. I mean, you guys are really some true clowns. Okay, you guys gave away Julio for next to nothing. Your secondary is still trash. Your offensive line can't protect Matty Ice. That ice is melted. Do you have a running back? Does Todd Gurley some knees all of a sudden? Calvin Ridley's number one. Okay, that's fine. You should pick up Alex Henrik because you need another number 2 wide receiver, unless you're going to put Kyle Pitts at wide receiver and put Henrik, who I'm trying to help you out with, as the tight end. Hayden Hurst, he's an excellent blocker, but he can't catch. He got hands of stone. Bro, I'm going to be.
Oh, see, he's saying bad things about him. Wait,
Michael, I was about to say, I don't know.
I'm being nice.
Oh, no. Yeah, but. Oh, Alex, you cut out. Would you? Oh. All right. Alex is being.
I said I'm being nice. 5-12 for those foul.
All right, wow. Mr. Fleming, I'm going to give you an opportunity. We are experiencing a little bit of technical difficulty, but I'm going to bring you back in just a moment. So, Mike, go ahead. I'm going to let you get your word in with Joe. Joe, I'm going to have you give a couple of minutes, and then we got to keep it moving.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was nice last night. Look, you did give away Julio Jones. Salary cap, this and that. Guys can restructure. I mean, yes, you did get Kyle Pitts, but what else to benefit Kyle Pitts would be Julio Jones? And the kind of unicorn everybody thinks Kyle Pitts is what Julio Jones has been for the Falcons. And yes, the defense, we all know, is the issue for Tampa. Again, I do love Richie Grant. We talked about that last night. But overall, I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. I do believe in Matt Ryan, but I don't believe in their defense. They finally get a new GM and a new coach. A new GM to me is almost 2 years overdue. I think a new GM should have came in, and Dan Quinn and the staff, I said this last night, but Dan Quinn and his staff should have had a chance to work under a GM that, I mean, gets it. So I like taking Kyle Pitts. Like I said to you, outside of not taking Penei Sewell, because to me, you want to build inside out, go with the guy that 95% of scouts who've been there a long time, who know what they're doing and seeing, saying there's no surefire Hall of Famers, but in this draft, there's one that's the closest, and it's Penei Sewell. So again, Alex and I, loved Kyle Pitts. I can't hate the pick, but not having a defense, yes, you still have to protect Matt Ryan. Now we'll see. Look, and I like Calvin Ridley too, but he's your number one. We'll see how, again, life without guys like Julio Jones. I mean, look, we picked on Juju Smith-Schuster. Life without Antonio Brown. Once you become the guy that's getting the double team, the zones rolled to you, everything.
It's a little bit different.
Exactly. It comes off a lot different. So I'm not saying Calvin Ridley's not talented. I'm not saying he can't beat guys, but it makes the field look a whole lot different when Julio Jones is there. So
Michael, yeah. Let's let Joe speak because we're running out of time.
Oh no, I was just going to say record wise, I'm going with I'm going to be a little bit nicer than you. I'm saying somehow they get 6. I'm going 6-11.
All right, gentlemen, I appreciate that. And for those who missed it, we'll definitely replay that. Mr. Carlino, I'm going to give you a few minutes and give you the floor, and appreciate you joining us here tonight, sir.
First off, again, Eric, thank you very much for the opportunity again. I do want to just say this real quick, even though you alluded to it about 2 minutes ago. He was experiencing technical difficulties, and I was about to say, I don't know what's worse, the fact that Alex can't say anything or that his computer isn't allowing him to say anything. So I just had to get that part out there. Getting back to our team, yes, it is bad that we got rid of Julio. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. It did hurt me a little bit to see the video this morning of him landing in Tennessee and all that. I do wish him all the best, though, and I will go that far. And then I read all the Monday Morning Quarterback today, Albert Breer, detailed that I guess this has been going on since 2019 with that extension. And then the icing on the cake was, surprisingly, Dan Quinn being fired. That was like the iceberg that sunk the Titanic. It was that bad. I do think Calvin Ridley is going to be good as a number one, but they did allude to it, Michael and Alex. Now he's going to get the double teams, but yet he was very fluid as a route runner, and he was able to take a couple of double teams here and there a little successfully. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he does in that number one role. I do want to see how Kyle Pitts plays in there. Alex can attest to me on this because he's wearing the conference championship hat. If the Super Bowl is any indication, I don't care how bad your quarterback is. I'm not saying Tom Brady's bad. What I'm just saying is I don't care how bad it is. If the offensive line is not intact, it doesn't matter what quarterback you put behind there. They're going to play bad. So with that in mind, I get where Alex is coming from. He's a division rival. He wants nothing more than the Saints to be bad, the Panthers to be bad, and Atlanta to especially be bad. It's the latter part because it's me. I like Michael's pick at 6-11. Unbiased, I will say that we go 7-10. Biased says we go 10-7. And that's with everything working properly in our favor, which will start with a win against you guys in week 1.
I don't see that, sir. But as always, time will tell. Joe Carlino, I appreciate you joining the show tonight, sir. Much love to you on DTSN, the Falcons, and, of course, the Blogging Dirty. Look forward to reading your articles, and we will definitely talk soon, my brother.
You got it, Eric. Peace out, guys.
Thank you. So let me go ahead and get Megan and Mike in here. Megan and Tyree in here because I want to get your thoughts on the Atlanta Falcons. And as always, Miss Megan Price, I'm going to start with you. You've heard all the talk about the Atlanta Falcons. Julio is in Tennessee. What do you think this Atlanta Falcons team is going to do this year?
They're going to lose. I really think that I'm giving them 4-13. I even think the Jets beat them in week 5, honestly. I do think week 1 they catch a W just because I don't think Philly's going to be quite in sync week 1, but they're going to lose to Tampa Bay. They're going to lose to Washington.
Really? You just going to do me like that, Megan, week 1? You just going to do me like that? Okay, I see how you are. This is coming from a Dallas fan. I should expect nothing less. But I thought we was cool. You can still come to the cookout, but I thought we was cool. I really did. I'm just saying.
We're good. I don't think Philly's going to be quite ready. I think Philly's going to get better as the season goes on. Week 1, I don't think they're quite there yet. So you still got to give Matt Ryan some credit. He is a veteran quarterback, and they have possibly the greatest tight end. We'll see. And, I'm kind of like Jalen Ramsey, though. I think Matt Ryan is overrated. He's aging. And so I think they're going to split with Carolina. I think they're going to beat Jacksonville week 12. And I think they're going to beat Detroit. And that's about it. They definitely need some work. And coming from a team that had no defense last year, I know how important that is. We lost a ton. So I'm going to stick with 4-13.
All right, fair enough. Let me get my brother from the Say What, Say It Again Sports Talk Show every Tuesday. Tyree, Atlanta Falcons, man. I know this is not your neck of the woods, but, you in the area, so you hear all the rumblings.
I'm in the South. I'm just saying.
All right, I feel you. But give me your thoughts on the Falcons.
Megan, she said the greatest tight end. Wow. I don't know what that means. I will say this. Everybody, keep talking about Julio's gone. Julio only played 9 games last year. Granted, with the 9 games he played, he still had pretty good production. But I mean, he only played 9 games to say the least. Now, the one thing I will allude to, and Michael Caratanudo hit it on the head, you know, them not getting Penei Sewell, I believe that's how you say his name. It's not very good because, you know, Matt Ryan was top 5 in being sacked in the league, so that could hurt them. But looking at their schedule, let's see, they do play Philly. I'm not as bad on Philly. I don't think Philly's that bad. I'm not just saying that because Eric's on the show, but I really don't think Philly's that bad, man. I think Jalen Hurts, I think he'll be fine. But, you know, the Bucs, obviously, that's a loss. So what is that? Dang it. They don't have a very favorable schedule, I'll tell you that. I think they could possibly split with the Panthers. They'll get the Jets. Yeah, I'm at the rock with 6-11 too, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm at the rock with 6-11.
All right, fair enough. When I look at this team, listen, it's the Atlanta Falcons. And I know Julio has kind of been the centerpiece, and we've had such a discussion with regards to his exodus from the Atlanta Falcons. What does that make them? Well, they're still a team in the NFL. And I think there are several games where even within the division, Atlanta could actually make a little bit of noise. Now, I know last night when we were talking, I said, I find them, the analogy that I used is Alex Fleming calls the Cleveland Browns irrelevant. I call the Atlanta Falcons irrelevant. And I still hold that. But in the NFL, we know some things sometimes take a turn. And if Matt Ryan doesn't always have to get the ball to Julio, he can focus on more of a Calvin Ridley, focus on a Kyle Pitts and some of these other weapons that he may or may not have. You know, I think it's safe to say that this team is still going to be at the bottom of the division. But I actually agree with Mr. Fleming and say 5-12 is what I think the record is going to be for the Atlanta Falcons. So let me go ahead and get everybody back in here. Let's keep it moving. And I want to run. Go ahead, Mike.
They're going to beat the Dolphins.
That was my 5th win.
Okay.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
All right.
I knew somebody would agree with me.
Okay, fair enough. Let's keep it moving to Mr. Fleming had a little spoiler alert last night, so I want to go back to him when we talk about the Carolina Panthers. He predicts, but I'll actually let him speak on what he said last night with regards to the Carolina Panthers. So, Mr. Fleming, if you will, Carolina, sir.
Wait your turn. As a division rival, I see the moves that you're making. I see what you're trying to do. Matt Rule was a good coach at Baylor, and now he's got the pieces that'll fit to contend in the division. J.C. Horn, shut down corner out of South Carolina. I see you. Jeremy Chin, J.C. Horn. Now you got the Green Hornet in Cato. You think you're slick. Derek Brown, Auburn, year before. Met him. I know he's a wrecking ball. Hey, I'm not sleeping on Brian Burns. And Mr. Perriman, good luck with you. You're going to be running a lot on the field. I see what the Carolina Panthers are trying to do. Can you put up the schedule, please? All right, ladies and gentlemen, to hell with all the preseasons, to hell with that. All right, week 1, that's a joke. They're going to win that one. Week 3, Houston, that's a give me. I think they beat up on those Cowboys. Eagles, irrelevant. Shootout with the Minnesota Vikings. They better hope and pray their defense is on lock. If not, then oh well. Falcons, they split with the Falcons. Upset special, week 7, November 7th. I think they beat the Patriots. They lose to the Cardinals. They lose to the Washington football team. I think they beat up on the Dolphins. That defense is nothing to play with. J.C. Horn's going to pick off Tua twice. They get revenge on those Falcons. They get worked against the Buffalo Bills. They're not touching Tampa, but they scared Tampa once. Tampa beats them twice, but they let Tampa know we in the building and you're going to respect us. And they split with the Saints, giving them a 3-3 record in the division and the second best record in the NFC South. 10-7, you missed the playoffs. Wait your damn turn.
10-7. Wow. Miss Megan Price, what say you?
I agree a lot with what Alex had to say, except for obviously week 4, Dallas, we're winning. We're in Dallas, we're in Jerry World, so we got that one. But week 1, definitely beating the Jets. Houston, definitely beating Houston. I do give them a win against Philly, maybe though. It's a up in the air. I think that they're kind of an evenly matched team. Definitely have them beating the Giants, have them beating New England, and I have them splitting with ATL. So I have them 6-12.
I'm going to pull Megan and Alex up here for a minute. And Mike, I know why you're shaking your head, and we'll definitely get to that in a moment. But give me a second here. Megan and Alex, both of you are saying that the Carolina Panthers are going to beat the New England Patriots. And I just want to get your assessment as to why you think this is going to happen, given that it's more or less the middle of the season. And depending on who the quarterback is, whether it be Cam, whether it be Mac Jones, or whether it be Jared Stidham, the team gets better as the season progresses when it comes to the Patriots, in my opinion. So I'm just curious as to why, Megan, I'd like you to respond first. And then, of course, you, Mr. Fleming, as to why you see Carolina beating the New England Patriots.
I really feel like Carolina made some moves. I like their draft picks, and I like Sam Darnold. I think it's a good fit for him there in Carolina. So I think that they're going to be moving forward. It's not one of those years that they've regressed. They regressed when they lost Cam. I am sad that Cam doesn't play for them anymore. I know he wanted to stay in Carolina, just didn't work out like that. And also, Cam didn't have a great season last year. Now I know he had COVID, and I'm not a Cam hater by any means whatsoever, but I just don't think New England has improved. I think they're the team that's regressing.
Cam's going to be pushing. He's going to have a lot to prove that week 7 and week 4. People are going to put a lot of pressure on Cam Newton, and he's going to try to ball out because it's his former team. Here's the problem. That same defense that he's used to has upgraded. Jeremy Chin, no slouch. Derek Brown, second year. Brian Burns and Perriman. They're both legit. J.C. Horn, if Cam can throw the ball, is going to pick him off too. Carolina has different dimensions to it that weren't there whenever Cam was there. Plus, I don't believe that New England's defense is going to be ready to stop DJ Moore, a healthy Christian McCaffrey, and Robbie Anderson, who can stretch the field. Carolina is a lot of problems for the New England Patriots. Oh, and fun fact, who was the only quarterback to have a winning record against Tom Brady while he was in New England? That's right, Cam Newton and those damn Carolina Panthers. The Panthers had the formula to shut down New England, and I expect nothing different.
All right, fair enough. Megan, remind me again, what was your record for the Carolina Panthers?
6-11.
6-11. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I got that correct. All right. Let me go ahead and get Mr. Caratanudo in here. Still shaking his head because everybody's hating on the Jets this evening. But Mike, go ahead, my brother. Talk to me about these Carolina Panthers, please.
Thanks, Eric. And that's the thing. Like, I get it. Robert Salah does have something to prove, but his energy, plus, I mean, he already has the good hockey juju because he was in the building when the Islanders beat the Bruins, and he's getting the crowd fired up. He's there. So, man's got good taste in other sports too. But that being said, with the Panthers, I digress to them. Look, they are getting better. You have Christian McCaffrey coming back. We haven't heard his name yet, and everybody knows what he can do. So, yeah, and I think Sam Darnold does want revenge. So, yes, of course they beat the Jets. But I just, again, the thing – thinking that the Jets are the Adam Gase Jets are hopefully the rest of the league thinks that, because then they'll surprise a lot of people. That being said, their schedule, I think, has a stretch to where they could win games. I mean, Houston, of course, is a win for me because they are going to go, and so Houston's not winning a game this year. I stick by that wholeheartedly. The Cowboys game again, like Megan said, the defense, and we talked about that when we talked about the East, Eric. If the Cowboys defense can improve a little bit, it might make a difference. But that's a winnable game. Philly's a winnable game. Minnesota, like you said, like I told you, I'm not sold on Minnesota. I think they beat Minnesota. Having to play the Giants at MetLife, I could lean towards the Giants. I think they sweep them. I mean, we're talking about the Falcons. Alex is saying split with them. I say they split with the Falcons. There's no way they beat the Cardinals. Well, I wouldn't say no way. I just think the Cardinals beat them. Washington will be tough, but it's a home game, so I think they're there. And again, I love what Matt Rule's doing. Plus, if you look at the draft too, obviously, yes, J.C. Horn is the guy they talked about. But getting Chuba Hubbard out of Oklahoma State and a 5th-round pick, the kid out of Washington, Keith Taylor, he'll be more, if he does make the squad, he will definitely be rotating in as a nickel back. The kid's like 6'2", 6'3", just another long corner, which, again, with the receivers in that division and tight ends now in that division, you need that kind of corner. So, and getting Chuba Hubbard along, yes, J.C. Horn, because that's who I wanted the Cowboys to take. But that being said, record-wise, Man, I'm way higher. I'm going 10-7 with the Panthers.
Wow, 10-7. All right, Mr.
But I
Tyree.
don't think they beat New England. So to get to their point too, I don't think New England's one of those wins. I do think it'll be a close game because, again, anytime you have a guy like Christian McCaffrey and you can control the clock and you add Chuba Hubbard, who, again, just has to break in slowly because Christian McCaffrey's there, Alex is onto something. I like what they're doing. Now, will it come to fruition this season? With a lot of wins, we'll find out, but I'm going with 10 wins.
All right, fair enough. Tyree, this is your neck of the woods, sir. Talk to me about Carolina.
This is my neck of the woods. You're right, man. I actually like Carolina, man. You know, I'm not saying that because I live in the area either. But you know, I do like Carolina. I think Christian McCaffrey, when healthy, is the best all-around running back in all of football. Also, I like their weapons at receiver. I don't think Sam Darnold is as bad as everybody thinks. I'm not just talking about on the panel. I'm just saying in general. Something about him is he was eighth in sacks. He got sacked 35 times, but he only played 12 games. So I just go to show you that he was sacked. I can't really name none of his any of his weapons either that he really had. Well, I can name some of them, but I mean, I don't think his weapons that he had was very good. So I would like to see what he could do with those weapons that he has in Carolina. And I know Michael Caratanuda bought up Robert Saleh, but he's not playing defense or anything like that. And y'all got to stop acting like he made the San Francisco defense or something like that. We have a top 5 defensive line in all of football. I'm just saying. I'm just saying we have a top 5. We have a top 5 defensive line in all of football. We do.
Absolutely. But if you don't have the right coordinator, as proved in not just Dallas, everywhere else, if you don't have a guy that can get guys to play, makes a big difference. And I love your defense. I hate your team, but I love your defensive line. I agree with you. But if you don't have the right coach, it makes a big difference.
Man, we got all pros. With the exception of the defensive backfield, we got all pros all over that defense. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a good coach. I'm not saying that. But, you know, it's tough. I mean, having passion is one thing, but I've seen a lot of coaches that's out there yelling, having passion, fussing, and their team getting beat by 40 or 50. I'm just saying. But
I agree with you, Ty, but what I will say to you is you look at that passion and that energy that, you know, transitions now from defensive coordinator to head coach. He's still bringing that same intensity. And that's why I say it's a transition for both teams. It's a transition for San Francisco because now you have a new head defensive coordinator coming in and kind of trying to not only fill that shoes, but implement his own style. And then on the flip side, Robert Saleh now gets his shot as a head coach.
Yeah, go ahead. No. I mean, I look at it like spades, Eric. The person with the. I mean, you could say somebody could play, but if I got a joker, deuce, ace, king, queen, 10, I mean, can I mess that up? I mean, I could mess it up if I renege, but come on, bro.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
But I mean, like people be like, I get it. Coaches help a lot. You know what I'm saying? But you got to have the cards. You got to have the players. You know what I mean?
I don't disagree with you. What is your record? What are you seeing as your record for Carolina?
My record for Carolina. So,
yes,
I'm
sir.
going to go through like everybody else. I think they beat the Jets. I'm sorry, Mama Caratanudo. They beat the Jets. All right. The Saints, I think they could split with the Saints.
Okay.
I don't think the Saints will be as bad as everyone thinks. I agree with Mike on Houston. Houston might not win the game. That's tough. They play the Cowboys at Cowboy Stadium. As much as I don't like the Cowboys, I think they could. The Cowboys got them. They played the Eagles at in Carolina. Might try and make that game too. That's might try to check that out. And then they play the Vikings at home too. I think they can get both of those games. I think the Giants are a lot better than people think they are too. I think they'll get the Falcons. 9-8. I think they could be right. I think they could be right around 9-8.
All right, fair enough. 9-8. Listen,
I just want to say one last thing.
Sure.
My apologies. I didn't want to say that they split against the Falcons. They sweep the Falcons. They split against the Saints. They go 3-3 the division. They don't touch Tampa, but they scare Tampa. They split with the Saints. They sweep away those fouls.
What was your record?
10-7. He said
10-7. Okay.
10-7.
Right.
I mean, I can see it. I can see it.
I'm kind of in the middle of everybody when I look at this team because it is Sam Darnold. And to Ty's point, Sam Darnold, I don't think is, we talk about if we take a quarterback out of one system and put them in another system, that's when we see how they're going to perform. He does have a familiar face in Robbie Anderson because Robbie Anderson is there in Carolina, so they do have that connection. And to Mike's point, yes, if Christian McCaffrey is healthy, that brother's got a lot of tread on them tires. And I really feel like we could see him truly, if he plays a full season, we could see him come second to Derrick Henry as far as rushing yards for the year.
Yeah.
But again, that's barring health.
Yeah.
I still look at this squad and I say to myself, Alex, your point, Matt Rule has done a great job in kind of keeping the progression going. But they're, like you said, I'll take your words. Wait your turn. It's not their time. I can only give them 8 of the 17 wins. Let's take a real quick break.
Now, hold on one second, Eric. I just want to say something real quick.
Go ahead.
Now, I will say this. If Sam Darnold doesn't produce with these weapons, it's over for him.
Oh, yeah. We will definitely.
It's over.
Yes,
No
I'm going to
more
definitely
excuses.
say that.
He
Avery,
got away from Adam Gase. Alex and I talked about this last night.
Nah,
He's not playing for Adam Gase anymore.
I got you, but I'm just saying, if he doesn't, with the weapons that he has, the running game that he has, if he doesn't produce this time, it's over.
Guys, the most valuable handcuff in fantasy football, Chuba Hubbard. If it's a 9th pick, 10th pick, 11th pick, you got to pick him up. Because Christian McCaffrey has a tendency to get hurt or injured. Plus, I see him playing some in the slot. He's going to fill McCaffrey's role if he goes down again. You got to pick him up.
But I do feel like this. I feel like the weapons, since he's been hurt, I feel like the weapons around him have gotten better to where you won't have to depend on him as much. You know what I'm saying, Alex? Because before it was McCaffrey or nothing.
Yeah.
And it's addition by subtraction. That's why I brought up Chuba Hubbard, Eric, because now he doesn't have to be on the field for 3 straight downs. You can take him off the, not that you want him off the field, but if it's a 3rd and short, you can give the ball to Chuba Hubbard. You can get Christian McCaffrey a spell, leading to, knock on wood, hopefully for him, less injury. Because, I mean, I'm not a Carolina fan or hater, but I love seeing him on the field. I mean, what that guy does is disgusting since he was at Stanford. So it's addition by subtraction. So that's why that late in the, and Alex, you're talking about fantasy, but for them to snag him in the 3rd round, that was a beautiful pick by Carolina.
It was a damn steal.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got to go to a quick break. We have definitely keep this conversation going, but more with the crew in the sports arena in just a moment.
Generations Physical Therapy has been the Tri-State's leader in physical therapy services for over 20 years. And now we have a convenient location right in the heart of the capital city of Charleston, just off I-64. With convenient parking and flexible hours, your access to physical therapy is second to none. Plus, Snap Fitness is also inside with 2 floors of gym equipment and sports enhancement training through A-Game Sports Performance. So whether you're needing hands-on physical therapy or looking to get results in our gym, our family's ready to help yours. Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness. Multiple services, multiple locations. Experience you can count on.
Welcome back to the Sports Arena. Your man, Eric Wilson, along with the entire team here with us. Megan Price, 806 Sports, Ty Ray, and the Sip. He's on the Sip Off. She's on Say What, Say It Again. They've been collaborating the past couple of weeks. It's been a beautiful thing to see.
That's my homie, man. I promise you, man. That's my homie.
For real.
You know,
Alex Fleming, Florida Sun Review, Fantasy and Flavors. Yes, donning the Super Bowl champion, reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl 55, all the way live. Fired him Cannon, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Carrottenuto, Believe in the Pac-12 podcast, and our
Hey,
man
Eric, I want to know why Todd won't have me on. Say it again after the Sun series. We could have a kumbaya. We could have a truce, man.
Mike. We are not talking basketball. Wait till next week, and then we can talk all the basketball you want.
Hey man, I've been trying to get Alex to come on the show, man. He won't come on.
Can I get John in here, please? John Shear, Sideline Sports Network. This brother been hanging out all night, just waiting to get in here. Y'all don't let the brother have a word in edgewise. I mean, come on, y'all.
I'm just saying, Eric. You know, Alex thinks that I don't like him, but I will say this: my 3 favorite people to watch on social media is Uncle Shannon. Even though he did Julio dirty, he did. I thought about it. I thought he didn't do Julio. He did Julio dirty. Ashley Baker and Alex Fleming. They're my 3 favorite people to watch, man. You know, Alex could think I don't like him, but I admire Alex. I like Alex.
That's not the case. I'm working when you do your show, bro. I work, bro. I'm not rich by any means. I got a struggle call, you know.
Hey, okay. do I look rich?
With that being said, John Shear,
I want to be on your show.
Welcome to the show, sir. I'm going to give you the floor for a few minutes. Talk to me about Atlanta. Talk to me about Carolina. Give me your thoughts on both those teams, please, sir.
Yeah, so I had a conversation about Calvin Ridley today. Actually, Bryce Lewis, who's on our show, we were talking on Twitter, and he had mentioned how people aren't giving Ridley enough credit, and kind of think a lot of people aren't giving Ridley credit because they're scared that it'll turn into Juju, what Juju was with AB, and then what he was what he is without AB. I think they're scared that that's what Ridley will become, because Julio was the guy that would take the double teams, but Pitts is there, so maybe if Pitts will turn into something, Ridley can stay what he is. But I'm not sure Ridley's the number 1 guy in Atlanta. Losing Julio only hurts them. A second and I think a 5th is what it came to. Doesn't really help them. They should have got a 1st for Julio. Should have taken that 1st from Seattle, if that's ultimately what was on the table. So I don't like what Atlanta did. I like getting rid of Julio because of the money and everything, but I feel they got robbed. Tennessee robbed them. So Atlanta's in a worse spot than they were before they got rid of Julio. And that's not good because they're in a strong division with the Bucks, and the Panthers are up and coming, and the Saints will be, they'll be in dead last in a couple of years. Don't worry about that. But right now, Atlanta just got worse, I think, overall, because the 2nd and a 5th just isn't as good as a 1st. So overall, I mean, I think Atlanta wins 5 games. I mean, that's being nice. I think Atlanta wins 5 games only because they got some weapons, and that'll translate to scoring a lot of points. And scored a lot of points, you can find yourself winning some ball games. So I have them winning 5. That's being nice.
5 and 12. You're kind of along the same lines of the rest of us. I think Mike was the only guy to go 6. So talk to me about the Carolina Panthers, a team that you and Alex feel are on the come up, basically, if you will.
Yeah, I agree with Alex on this, that they're going to be 2nd in the division. I think they're going to go 8 and 9, which I think is really good because where they were at last year, they had a lot of rookies, a lot of super young guys, new coach in Matt Rule, who we had no idea what he would do in the NFL. And they only won, I believe, 5 games, but they played hard for him. They gave their all for him. What they did in Washington is kind of the epitome of what you're going to get from this Matt Rule-led team. And they have a lot of great young players, including Jeremy Chen and Brett Burns. They have a lot of guys a lot of young players. And I like this Carolina team. They're going to win 8 games because I think Darnold will have to take a year really to get used to being in this system. And they're a couple pieces away from being there. But for right now, I think 8 and 9 is great for them. I think that's definitely a positive from 5 last year. And then I think come 2022, 2023, they're going to rock that division, and there's not going to be anybody that's even close to them. That team is a year or 2 away from really being a household name.
Wow.
Mark my words.
Listen, anytime John Shear and I have the same record, I know I must be doing something right. So I appreciate that with the 8 and 9. Yep. Let me go ahead and get the rest of the team in here. We're going to move on to the New Orleans Saints. And, Miss Megan Price, as we know, no Drew Brees. We're not sure still if it's going to be Jameis or if it's going to be Taysom. But Sean Payton is still coaching. You still have Alvin Kamara. one of the best running backs in the league still. But talk to me about these Saints, because it seems that this is going to be a season where they begin to maybe start to have a slow decline.
Yeah, I absolutely think that they're going to regress, but I think that they're still going to have a pretty decent record. I have them going 11-4. Or is that right? No, 11-6. Excuse me, 11-6. And I think they lose to Green Bay in that first week right there. I think Aaron Rodgers has a lot to prove in Green Bay. He's definitely going to want to prove a point there, and I think he's going to come in week 1 and do that at home, but against New Orleans. I think they beat Carolina. I think they beat New England. I think they beat the Giants. I think they beat Washington. Then they have their bye. I think they lose, but because it's in Seattle, that's why I think they lose. I don't see them winning against Tampa Bay at all this year. I think they lose to Tennessee. I think they lose to Buffalo. And then I think possibly Dallas comes in with a win right there at the very kind of week 13. And then they finish out their schedule strong. They beat Miami, they beat Carolina, and they beat ATL.
Wow. So, I mean, listen, I know you're a Dallas fan, and I get it. But, I mean, I look at this schedule, and I'm saying to myself, Jameis, I think, has a lot to prove. So I think they might steal one from the Bucs, because I just think Jameis, for as great as we know him to be when it comes to throwing interceptions, the man can still pass for over 5,000 yards. And I think Sean Payton might be able to kind of help him move on to that next level. Now, if it's not the Jameis Winston show, if it is the Taysom Hill show, I expect a lot of Wildcat. I expect a lot of just, we're going to throw it up. It's going to be like spaghetti sticking to a wall. Let's see. We'll throw it up there and see what sticks. I look at this team and I say they actually do regress, but not by much. This is a team that even though they did win the division, they wound up losing when it mattered most. I'm looking at them and I'm going to go 9-8 just because Sean Payton is still the coach. And I really feel like he is going to be the guy that kind of pushes them and like, listen, just because Drew ain't here no more, it's the next man up mentality.
I just have problems with any team that has quarterback issues. If they don't know who their starting quarterback issues, we saw this in Philly last year. Was it Carson? Was it Jalen? We saw these issues, and I don't know. I can't get behind that. You got to know exactly who your starter is, who's your backup, and I think it's got to be concrete. Now, if they were for sure rolling into the season, hey, Jameis is the guy, then I would say, hey, I believe in it a little bit more than what I do right now. But when you don't know who your quarterback is, you got a problem.
Fair enough. Mr. Fleming, let me go ahead and get you in here, sir, because this is talk to me about those New Orleans Saints.
Those ain'ts, those beautiful ain'ts, the ones who think division titles are more worthy than Super Bowl championships. Oh, we ran the division 4 years in a row. Yeah, and that's supposed to be more important than a Super Bowl title. Back up off us. This goes out to the NFC South fans. NFC South talk, anything goes. NFC South news, discussion, and fantasy, and everybody down here in the South. Get used to this. The COVID Bowl was real. We don't give a damn about division titles because you got to seal the deal. And what have you done the last 4 years? You got robbed against the Rams. I'll give you that. Minnesota's whooped your ass twice, and you guys seem to choke in the first or second round. And now you've lost Mr. Hendrickson, who was your leading sack getter, and try to replace him with Granderson. You had a rookie last year in Zach Bond who didn't get a lot of playing time, who's now at your linebacker position. Janoris Jenkins, one of your corners, yeah, he's in Tennessee now. Oh, and the other half of your defense left for greener pastures. I believe Sheldon Rankins is now a Jet. And now you got that old man Jenkins, Malcolm Jenkins, who's probably got a hairline like LeBron James, trying to be a safety in the NFC South. Let's see how well that works for you. Oh, and Slant Boy, Mr. Michael Thomas, hardly played at all last year. And there's already discussions about him and Jameis not being on the same page when it comes to slants. So sorry to hear that. One thing I will say is that you guys have one of the superior offensive lines. That's the reason why Jameis is going to stay clean. Here's the problem. I covered Jameis. I met Jameis. I wrote about Jameis. Hell, Jameis was our quarterback for 5 solid years. I know about Jameis Winston, and a Tiger can only change his stripes once. He's going to throw picks. Can we see the schedule, please? So that way there's no misconception. Green Bay gets your ass opening week. You split with the Carolina Panthers. I don't care if it's here or there, it's a split. You beat New England, but you might get shocked by the New York Giants. I'm trying to tell people about those Giants. But you know what? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you beat the Giants. You lose to the Washington football team. Y'all ain't ready for that smoke. Y'all really, really aren't. And due to the fact that your defense is gone, McLaurin's going to bust that ass. After the bye week, you have to travel to Seattle. That's an L. Tampa is waiting for you. Let me make that absolutely perfectly crystal clear. Tampa is waiting for you. Back to the schedule, please. You get those foul cones. Tennessee runs all over you because Julio can't stand your ass either. A.J. Brown, I look for him to have a huge game against that. Philly beat you last year. I see you getting revenge. I don't even want to mention Buffalo. Y'all are getting work. Megan is absolutely right. No love lost because you New Orleans Saints fans used to be Cowboy fans because you Ain't fans had paper bags over your heads. So the Cowboys get you too. You squeak by the Jets. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are waiting for you. Miami, they might get you, that might not. That's a coin flip. Carolina surprises you, knocking you out of playoff contention, and then you beat up on those Falcons to end the season. This will be the last winning season you guys see in a very long time. And you finish behind Tampa and Carolina, 9-8.
Wow. 9-8. Do you think Alex has some heavy words for the New Orleans Saints, or Aints as he calls them? Mike, Tyree, John Shear, gentlemen, I'm gonna let the three of you handle this. I need to get your thoughts on these New Orleans Saints. And Mr. Shear, I'm gonna start with you, sir.
Yeah, as Alex had mentioned, Trey Hendrickson, your leading sacker, gone. Janoris Jenkins, one of your better corners, gone. Sheldon Rankins, Malcolm Brown, gone. Quan Alexander, you didn't mention him, Alex, gone. Jared Cook, your tight end. Now you don't have a tight end, a safety blanket for Jameis Winston, gone. Emmanuel Sanders, your other receiver, who wasn't very good, but you don't have anything at receiver aside from Michael Thomas. There's not Tre'Quan Smith or whatever. He's not any good. You don't have anybody to throw to. You only have Kamara. You have Michael Thomas. That's it. Nothing else. So, your offense was okay last year. It wasn't great. It was pretty decent, but now you got Winston or Hill. You're not sure what you're going to get there. I just don't like that you have two guys that you rely on, and then everything else, it's a done deal. And then losing all these guys on defense that I just read off. I mean, your defense was pretty solid last year. I don't like that defense now. This team to me screams 7-10. Just absolutely screams 7-10. I don't care if you have Sean Payton or not. With Hill or Jameis Winston at QB and a lack of weapons and losing those pieces on defense, you ain't getting above 7 wins. Not in that division.
Mr. Caratanudo, Mr. Tyree, please.
Wow. Well, they beat Green Bay week 1, Ty, even if because I'm thinking this whole drama crap with Aaron Rodgers, which I could care less about. But if he doesn't show up, yeah, he knows the offense, but the rest is going to be there week 1. And it's funny because I love how John says, again, we're talking about coaching. Sean Payton, I'm sure there's easily 30 other teams that would take him as their head coach with just what he can do. Let's look at their draft, though, Ty. Peyton Turner out of Houston, love that kid. Defensive end. Cam Jordan, by the way, who's still there, who everybody seems to forget about, is still knocking off quarterbacks' heads. He's had a lot of success against division opponents. So, again, yes, they did lose people in the secondary. I get that, but secondary wasn't playing that great, to Alex's point. Then you draft they drafted the kid out of Stanford, that Paulson Adebo, who's 6'1", and was a receiver until his freshman year. He was still playing receiver his freshman year, and then he switched to corner. Kid's a ball hawk. Again, he's going to be a rookie. He's going to get beat. But I look at the Saints, and I'm like you. I'm like a lot of people on a lot of teams. I'm not going to count them out because all of a sudden, yeah, some teams have gotten better. But if we're going to say the Falcons are last, they sweep the Falcons. I think they beat the Packers. I don't. They definitely don't sweep the Bucks, but I do think they can split with Tampa just due to the fact that, again, it's a division game. Tennessee and Julio Jones. John brings up a great point, but I think that Sean Payton has put together a lot of game plans to defend Julio Jones. So it might be the AJ Brown show that day. Who knows? We'll see. But when I look at what they did in the draft, and again, they didn't have a ton of picks, but they addressed needs. I love that Adebo pick, and not just because Pac-12. Again, if they could have traded up and gotten J.C. Horn, they should have. That's just my take on it. But what they did in the draft, you still have Cam Jordan, and Alex made the point, the offensive line. If Jameis Winston is not rushed and not getting hit, because he kind of did get hit a little bit in Tampa those last few years. He got hit a little more. Yes, you throw 30 picks, people are going to make their jokes. But Sean Payton knows what he has. And, Ty, the last thing I'll say before I give the record to you is they drafted Ian Book out of Notre Dame in the 5th round. Now, I know you won't go off the deep end when I say this because I'm not comparing, because you actually hear me. People who are listening to this, they need to hear what I'm saying. Ian Book is comparable to Josh Allen. I'm not saying he has his arm, but his accuracy was the thing. It wasn't his talent. It wasn't he couldn't make throws. It's accuracy. So now he gets taken in the 5th round, and he gets to sit for at least 2 years, maybe 3. And again, if Sean Payton stays, I'm just saying that's a total Sean Payton pick at quarterback to answer for the future. If Winston doesn't happen to be the guy, or Hill, he picked up Book in the 5th round. But I like what they did in the draft. It still is Sean Payton. Division opponents are going to be tough. I say they finish 2nd in the division. I might be crazy, but I'm going with 11-6 for the Saints. Because, again, I like what Sean Payton does. And the defense, again, you and I both know, we talked about this, you only have to be able to make 3-4 stops in a game defensively. That's it. One stop a quarter is all you really have to do. So what say you, Ty?
I mean,
you kind of quiet over there, Ty. What you thinking, bro?
Man, I'm thinking. They said a lot. I can't remember everything everybody said. I don't think I know Megan. I want to touch on something Megan said earlier.
Sure.
Megan said that they don't that she, you know, when you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have none. I think they know it's Jameis.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this is my opinion. I'm not part of the New Orleans Saints organization. I don't want nobody to come on and say it. But I don't see how it could not be Jameis. I'm just giving my opinion. When you look at the two people's resumes, I mean, granted, he didn't do good in Tampa Bay. I get it, you know, and it doesn't look good when you're on a team, you leave, and the next year they win a Super Bowl. I mean, but they did have Tom Brady. I mean, we got to get at some credit. I get what John was saying about the wide receivers, but I will say this: I know Alex said he can only run slants, but heck, let's not act like Drew Brees has the strongest arm in the world. He could throw a lot of the things other than slants, anyways. Hey, it is what it is. But I think the issue is the defense. I didn't realize they lost so much on defense. You know, the defense has been carrying them. It really carried them last year, especially when Drew Brees was hurt and they had Taysom Hill starting. I mean, the defense really, really carried them. But, I mean, hey, what can I say? Kamara, it's been enough. I mean, I don't like the fact that they let Emmanuel Sanders leave and they didn't really replace him with much. I don't think Traquan Smith is that bad. I mean, we'll have to see what he could do. I mean, last year he was a 3rd option. He had okay numbers. I know he was hurt a little bit too himself. But, I mean, I had him in fantasy for a little bit. He was all right. I think they can go 9-8, though. I really do. I think they can go 9-8.
Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, Adam Troutman is now the tight end. Jared Cook is gone. Adam Troutman, who sat the bench for most of last year, is now the new security blanket for Jameis Winston. It will be Jameis. Taysom Hill, in his entire career, is still 1,000 yards less than what Jameis Winston did in 2019. So let's not kid ourselves. Oh, and one last thing. People want to say it's not about Drew. Drew was holding us back. Yeah. They went 8-1 without Drew Brees. That was with the defense that had all those names that John Scheer mentioned. Your time is up, New Orleans. It's time for y'all to go back to the basement. You can join Atlanta, feed them some food like Silence of the Lambs, because you damn sure not the top of the division. Leave that to Carolina and to Tampa.
And go on, Ty.
No, but this is my thing too, though. We can't. Jared Cook played 15 games last year. He only had. I mean, I get it 7 touchdowns, but I mean, let's not act like Jared Cook was that good last year. I'm not saying that the guy that's behind him that you just name is better, but Jared Cook. I mean, heck, I had him on fantasy. He didn't give me nothing.
Same. Oh, well, and to touch on this, y'all talk about Sean Payton still the coach, right? Well, Popovich was still the coach of the Spurs this year. What happened? We didn't make the playoffs.
Come on now, you can't compare that.
True,
now. Come on now.
Sometimes you have great coaches, but when you lose those pieces, it was like what you were talking about with the spades, right? Okay,
right.
Yeah, great coaching is great coaching, but if you don't have those pieces there, then what?
Yeah. I mean, your second best player.
Bill Belichick
Ty,
coached
that's
the
about-
Pats last year. How'd that turn out?
That's making something out of nothing. Because like you said, unless you renege, and let's take the top 4. If I got Joker, Deuce, Ace right now, okay, that's only 4 books, bruh. And if those are the only 4 cards I got, can I make it work? Yeah.
That's why you got a partner.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying to you. That's why I got to rely on the next man up. That's what Sean Payton is doing. I can compare him to Pop and say, if you look at their careers as head coaches and look what they were able to do, it didn't always equate to championships, but they were a relevant, consistent team in the NFL that whether offensively or defensively, whether you loved them or you hate them, you had to respect.
Yeah, but Eric, you got 5 championships though. Hey, but Eric, you got 22 cards in football.
Okay,
you only got 5 in basketball. I mean, come on.
I got you.
This is the point that you're missing, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of teams that owe receipts to the New Orleans Saints. The Cowboys owe them an ass whooping. That Thanksgiving Day game against Buffalo, that's going to be ugly. Buffalo's going to work them cats. Do I need to mention Tampa? Do I need to mention some of the hate that Tampa Bay has against these clowns in New Orleans? I don't think I do. And people are sleeping on Carolina like they didn't play them tough not once but twice last year. Carolina has improved. New Orleans has regressed. Don't be shocked.
Fair enough. John Scheer, I'm going to give you the last, and then we are going to move on to the Buccaneers. So, John Scheer, please.
So somebody mentioned Traquan Smith wasn't that bad. The guy's never hit 500 yards. He's never hit 40 catches, 427 yards, 234 yards, and 448 yards. Let's not act like that guy's any good. So get that guy out of here. Somebody said about how Jameis is going to be the guy. We don't know that. Was Jameis the guy last year when Drew Brees went down? How many games did Jameis start? Oh, that's right, 0. Oh, why wasn't he the guy whenever he had the chance to step up and be the guy over Hill last year? It didn't happen. So we don't know if Jameis is going to be the guy because they didn't even commit to him last year or give him an opportunity. Threw one 60-yard touchdown pass. That's about it. I mean, come on. Like, we act like Jameis Winston's going to be the guy, but, you had your chance last year and you didn't even give him a chance. You put Hill in over him, a guy that is terrible. He has no business starting at quarterback in the NFL. Tim Tebow-esque. Get that guy out of here. Jameis Winston should be the starter.
Because Sean Payton didn't want anybody else to see him. It's not rocket science.
Didn't want anybody to see what, a 30
It's a
pick
one-year
guy?
deal. It's a one-year deal. That's it. It's a one-year deal. And that was why, because Sean Payton wanted him to be a starter, but he wanted him to sit behind Drew Brees for a year and see if he matured. Everything Alex brought up and Eric's talked about, and even being in Tampa, the 30 picks. Yes, Jameis Winston wasn't always the most mature, but now he's at a spot where it's like, damn, I got a one-year crap deal money-wise, and he had to sit behind Drew Brees. Sean Payton probably wanted to go with him more, but says, you know what? Somebody's going to try and sign him, and I'm guessing Drew's done next year, and he left. There's no need to show everybody's talking spades and cards. There's no need to show all your cards. And in chess, you're just going to sit there and wait and wait and wait. Sean Payton is a puppet master, and Jameis Winston will be the guy. Alex is 100% right in that. So is Ty. And I get what, again, from all the reports out there, but make competition out of it. You're not just going to hand it to a person. If you're a coach, John, you're not going to hand it to somebody that threw 30 interceptions.
You're going to throw away your season. You're potentially in that situation going to throw away your season.
Drew Brees. No, because they were.
But Drew Brees was hurt, I'm saying. For what, 9 games?
When he went out. He missed 6 games. Was it 5? No, because it was their bye. It was their bye. It was 6 weeks. No, it wasn't. It was 6 weeks, and their bye week was in there too.
So why wouldn't you start Winston in that instance? Because you don't know what you would get out of Hill.
He wasn't ready, right? But he'd been around Hill a lot more, and from everything said in New Orleans, again, not believing.
No, he didn't want to play his cards, or he wasn't ready. Because you said he didn't want to play his cards, but now you're saying he wasn't ready.
No, I said he didn't want to play his cards. He probably
Okay,
was.
but you
No, I
said
said
he
he
wasn't
probably
ready.
was ready. No, I said he probably was ready, but he doesn't want to play his cards. And if you're Sean Payton and you work with Taysom Hill more in the offense, let him take the snaps. You're not going to look at the opponents they had too. Go according to all your stuff. If a team's not a real team, the opponents they had, okay, Philly shocked them, and that was a shock. But the rest of their opponents, it's like, oh, we can beat them. You know why? Because we'll just ball control it. And then Taysom Hill started running the ball more. So again, I'm not saying Winston shouldn't have played, and I said he probably was ready. But Sean Payton knows he only had him for 1 year. If he blew up, that free agent money other quarterbacks got, John, if you're another GM and you're telling me in that 8-week period he pulled a Teddy Bridgewater and went, or that 6 or 7 week period, and he goes 6-1 or 5-2, and he threw like 16, 17 touchdowns and only 1 interception. As a GM of another team, you're like, 1 year? Oh, you didn't want it? Okay, I'm out of here.
If he's that good, then guess what? They would have beat that Bucks ass in the divisional round, then went beat Aaron Rodgers. If he was that good as you're saying, Bucks wouldn't be Super Bowl champs.
All right, gentlemen. I feel you on this, but we got to keep it moving here. So we are on the last team. Let me go ahead and get everybody in here. Of course, our girl, Miss Megan Price, 806 Sports, Ty Ray from the Say What Say It Again Sports Talk Show, Alex Fleming, Florida Summer Review, Fantasy and Flavors, Mike Caratanudo, and John Shear. So here it is, the last team. We are rounding out the 32 with, as I said and will continually say, the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl 55, and they all the way live, fire the cannons, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mr. Fleming, we had this discussion backstage. I'm going to let you do your thing. The floor, sir, belongs to you.
It's kind of funny that the team with the lowest winning percentage is undefeated in Super Bowls. I think it's quite ironic that the people that they say are Sucks fans or Yucks fans all of a sudden get a change in quarterback because they have the same personnel, wide receivers and defense-wise, and we go on the road and go World Warriors, 52 pickup, shout out Florida Sun, and do the unthinkable by beating Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, and Aaron Rodgers. They're former MVPs. We're the first team since 1978 to re-sign everybody. Get that through your head. Think about it. If you couldn't beat us last year, how in the hell are you going to beat us this year? With an actual offseason, and Tom Brady won another ring. 1 ring won't get you into the Hall of Fame as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Everybody's going to remember what you did as a Patriot. 2 rings as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer will get you into the Hall of Fame. Oh, and by the way, he looks great. He's throwing, had surgery, drinking avocado tequila, doing this damn thing. Dalen Jordan, North Texas, I'm giving you a heads up now. He's not a Mike Evans clone. That's Ty Johnson. And he's not a Chris Godwin clone. He's an Antonio Brown clone. Shout out to my man, Blank Anthony, who was trying to drop knowledge and let people know we've only retooled. Since meeting Antoine Winfield, he's now one of the top safeties. He's just like his father, but he's actually faster. Tristan Wirfs, best tackle that was available in 2020. And lo and behold, he only gave up 1 sack. Imagine that. I guess I know a little bit of what I'm talking about. Throw up the schedule. Let me educate these clowns. Okay, opening night, Dallas gets an ass whooping. I'm not even worried about those Falcons. 1 of the 3 losses of the Tampa Bay schedule against those damn Rams. I get a funny feeling we're going to be playing them twice. Patriots, please. You know Tommy wants that because he becomes the 4th quarterback ever to beat all 32 teams. Miami, please. Philly, haha. Chicago, redemption. We owe them one. We are ready for those Saints. And we're ready for Jameis Winston. Please believe this. Please believe this. Back to the schedule. Washington football team gives us a scare, but we beat them. Those damn New York Giants. For real, for real. They scare the hell out of me, and they scare Tom Brady, but I think we beat them and then lose to the Colts because we come off a high of beating the New York Giants. Falcons, please. Bills, that's another L I see us taking. We sweep those damn Saints. The Panthers give us a scare, but we handle them. Jets, we take care of them, and then we get the Panthers at home. 14-3. And anybody with any type of football knowledge, you want to know why we don't have the tough schedule? We didn't win the division. We were a wild card. So while the Saints have a tougher playground, we have an easier playground with the GOAT, dynamic duo of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown as a safety net, and a running game that features Ronald Jones, Keyshawn Vaughn, and Leonard Fournette. Hate all you want to. We going back to the Super Bowl.
He made the prediction May 22nd of 2021 that Super Bowl 56 would be the Buffalo Bills versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Los Angeles. We will see if that comes to fruition. Mr. Fleming has stated 14-3 will be the record for the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl 55, and they all the way live. Fire the cannon, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let me allow the rest of the crew to give their assessment of the situation. First off, our girl, 806 Sports and the Sip Off, Miss Megan Price, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, mine is incredibly similar to Alex's, and I just want to go ahead and say that he was absolutely right. Their record was 11-5 last year, so I think they improve. I think they go 13-4. Definitely agree. We probably lose week one. Dallas, loses week one. I do agree the first loss of their season is going to be week 3 against the Rams. And then their next loss, though, this is where ours differs, is they lose to Washington. I think it's a revenge game. I think Washington is the team that played Tampa Bay the best out of any other team. They played them better than the Chiefs. So I really think that that's when we're going to see, one, Tyler Heineke, and we're going to see them actually beat the Bucs. Then week 12, I agree. You lose to the Colts. You're in Indianapolis. And then week 14, you also lose to Buffalo.
Fair enough. All right. John Shear, please, sir, give me your assessment of this team.
Yeah, Alex touched on a lot of it. This team, to me, is a 14-3 team. They have all the weapons. The offensive line is fantastic. Brady's getting older, so that's a little bit of a concern. It's another year. Obviously, he won the Super Bowl last year, but they didn't win it necessarily because of him. The defense carried him the whole way through the playoffs. Brady had some good moments, but the defense was the reason that they got to the Super Bowl, and the defense was the reason they won the Super Bowl. So let's not act like Tom Brady's the reason they won the Super Bowl. So another year older, still has all of his great weapons, still has a great offensive line. Bruce Arians a little bit of an overrated coach. Tom Brady's the one actually doing the coaching, if you will. So defense is amazing. So I have him going 14-3, but watch out for Brady regressing a little bit whenever it comes to where he's at, in regards to his age, and maybe his talent comes back down to earth a little bit. You have to take that into consideration. Even though he's Tom Brady, age catches up with everybody. So always got to throw that in there. So 14-3 for me.
John, while I'm inclined to agree with you on a lot of what you said, the one thing I will say is if there is one person outside of Adrian Peterson who I feel is truly testing Father Time, it is the man who currently holds 7 rings. And any man who can go from a 2-decade career to a team that was vying for high draft picks and take that team with the right coach and the right pieces to be the first team to not only host, but also win a Super Bowl. As I always say, whether you love him or you hate him, you got to respect him. And I feel Tom Brady is trying to kind of be that guy. We always talk about the Iron Man. This man's going on year 22 and is still doing it at such a level that we have to admire it. We don't have to like it, but we have to admire it. Mike Caratanudo, believe in the Pac-12, sir. Talk to me about Brady.
No, again, I can't stand him, but of course I respect him, Eric. I respect what he's done. It's obviously in the NFL, it's at a high level. And yes, he has won a lot. Here's the thing. Yes, I do agree they win the division. No, they are not going 14-3 because even all those years in New England with Tom Brady, the teams always started off maybe a little bit slower, blame it on defense, blame it on whatever. But early in the season, again, I look at their schedule. I don't think they beat the Rams. I'm big on Buffalo. You know that. And they definitely lose to the Rams and Buffalo. Again, division-wise, I could see him splitting I could see him sweeping, obviously sweeping Atlanta, as we know. They will sweep Atlanta. I don't know. I think the Saints' best chance is week 8 because even though it's yeah, it's at home. So if they don't get them week 8, they definitely won't split. I don't see them getting them week 15 later in the season. But again, and I like what they did in the draft. You know me. I mean, a lot of these things I've talked about draft. That kid they got out of, again, it's funny. I get to talk about Pac-12 kids, Eric. I didn't draft him, but that Joe Tryon out of Washington, outside linebacker, love this kid. He's a rush end. He can stand up. He can put his hand in the dirt, as they say. I just don't understand the second-round pick of Kyle Trask. I love their third-round pick and the Hainsey kid out of Notre Dame. This kid played all over the line and was absolutely dominant. So I love what they did there in the draft. KJ Britt, I think, is a little bit of a stretch out of Auburn. I mean, this kid is, again, I'm not going to label him, not saying he can't get better. He's not the best of run defenders. I mean, I saw the pre-draft fails, but even watching Auburn games, but you put some team in a 3rd and long and you put that kid downhill, again, to add to that defense when he just can literally focus on, from the replacements, Eric, see ball, get ball, see ball, get ball. That'll be KJ Britt. I mean, literally, like he's like, give me the ball. He's like, I got you the ball. And I'm not saying KJ Britt's not smarter than that, but I love that pick. But again, I mean, you take Tryon, you start with you keep going with defense to build and knowing what offenses are. And again, Kyle Trask, I mean, I guess if Bruce Arians and them really loved him, I just didn't get it in the 2nd round. So, but back to their schedule. And again, yes, they got everybody back. Yes, again, it's a normal off season. Washington, I'm with Megan and I think Alex on that. I mean, that'll be a very tough game. I'm with Megan. I think it's a revenge game. Again, they win the division, but I'm gonna say it's 12-5. I'm gonna go 12-5, win the division, and again, that Rams. I agree with Alex. I mean, look, with Matthew Stafford, I know we already talked about the West, but to me, that is just a wonderful early season matchup to see because, like you said, I always like Matthew Stafford. Again, I get not leading the Lions in the playoffs, but he's not the one drafting everybody. He's not putting pieces around him that don't work out. I get it. You have to raise your team up. You had Calvin Johnson, and yes, you didn't get – they should have won in Dallas. I admitted it to you when it happened. I remember us texting because that was a terrible penalty call against Detroit. I took it. I was happy with it, but they should have beat Dallas and had that playoff victory. That being said, I think, again, I've already picked the Rams to win the West. I love what they do. The Bucs are going to definitely win that division. But I say 12-5, and they'll be rolling again going into the playoffs because you look at that schedule, you go Saints after Buffalo, which again I think is a loss, but you beat the Saints, you should beat Carolina. They should be. I mean, Brady knows, even though different coaching staff, but it is the Jets, unfortunately. Sorry, Mom, but it is the Jets. And then I think they beat at that point again. If they have the division locked up, the Carolina game doesn't matter anyway, and Carolina won't be challenging them for the division. So. Again, I think at 12-5, they have it locked up early, though, even going 12-5. And like I said, I love defense. I like what they did in the draft. I love it pains me to say I love their defense. So, but I'm going 12-5, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs.
Fair enough. Let me get my man. Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, but like I said, they destroyed week 2, but a week 1 loss to Dallas. That's my upset pick of the year.
I should have never let you back on the screen. Let me get you out of here. Tyree, please say it again, my brother. I know you got a long day ahead of you tomorrow, but really quick, give me your thoughts on the Bucs.
I mean, if I ain't mistaken, they're the first team ever to bring back all 22 starters. Second team ever to bring back all 22 starters from the Super Bowl team.
Yes, sir.
I do want to talk about something that John said. He said that Bruce Arians is overrated as a coach and Tom Brady runs the team. So we're not going to give no credit to Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich, man. Come on, man. That's
Yeah, I said I was talking Bruce Arians. I wasn't talking the other guys.
But I'm
Bruce
saying
Arians specifically. Because Bruce Arians even said Tom Brady was coaching the team.
Okay, well, tell me this
last
then.
year.
Who hired the guys that's on the coaching staff? Bruce Arians, right?
The GM.
Jason Light.
Bruce
Arians probably had some insight as to the people that he wanted.
I don't believe they're putting anybody on your staff if you say you don't want them there.
I'm not saying he doesn't know the people to put on there. I mean, Todd Bowles is a fantastic defensive mind, terrible head coach, but great defensive mind.
I wouldn't go that far, John. But I'm gonna let you slide on that one. Go ahead, Ty.
He was terrible in New York, but anyway, I think Arians a little bit overrated. I mean, look at the team around him, and he has Tom Brady, of course. I mean, that team is built So I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm just saying he's a little bit overrated. He's not one of the best in the league.
So when people, I see,
Hey guys,
this,
Byron Leftwich and Mr. Arians worked together in Arizona and Pittsburgh. Leftwich was Bruce Arians' pick. Bowles applied for the position and Light hired him.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying, Alex. He's not going to be on nobody's going to be on your staff if you don't want him there, unless it's like the owner's son. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, obviously, you know what I mean, you can't do nothing with that. But I said that to say this. I mean, like, you can't give a person like, okay, if I grow a tree, I'm responsible for the fruit that comes off of it. Like, if the guys are under him, I mean, that has to be something to his benefit because he's smart enough to know, hey, look, I'm gonna let them make the small decisions. I'm gonna make the big decisions.
Shout out to Bruce Arians for having the most diverse coaching staff in the NFL. Diversity in hiring minorities and females, first and foremost. Bruce Arians started that trend.
And Bruce Arians grew up 10 minutes down the road from me. So that's pretty cool.
But I mean, listen, John, I hear what you're saying. I just don't agree with you. So I will agree to disagree. Let me get Ty's pick, and then I'm gonna round this out and give you my thoughts on the Bucs. So Ty, please continue with your thoughts on the Bucs.
Mike said upset pick of the year. Mike, if you don't get out of here with that trash, Dallas Cowboys, whatever. That's a win. Atlanta Falcons win. Rams, that's a very interesting game to me. I'm not as high on Stafford as most people are. I still think that offense isn't the same. I like Cooper Kupp, but I think they get the Rams. I think they get the Patriots. Oh, man, I don't even know. Do I see any losses? Maybe Colts, Bills. And I'm going to say they got it sold up at the end of the season, so that Carolina game, they just give that one away. I'll say 14-3.
14-3.
Okay. Ty is acting like his Lakers lost. Man, whatever, man. I mean, hey, bro.
I got you, bro.
When you got them, I mean, we won a championship, and like I told somebody else, we won a championship in every decade except for the 90s. How many teams could say that?
This is true. But we'll talk basketball at a later time. When I look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and I look at this schedule, as someone who has lived here for the last 25 years, I have watched the success that John Gruden had, and I still say it's Tony Dungy's team. Argue with me all day long. I don't care. But John Gruden was the head coach at the time, took this team to their first championship. Bruce Arians comes in. Jason Light, his butt was so hot, it didn't matter that he lived in Florida. He could have melted the iceberg that sunk the Titanic with how hot his seat was. So what does he do? We've been talking all night about playing spades. He said, all right, this is my all-in move, if you will. And you going to deal me. I'm going to make sure I get big joker, little joker, deuce, and ace. What was that equate to? Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, and anybody else you want to throw in for that fourth one. It didn't matter at that point. You got Brady the weapons that he needed to be successful. Todd Bowles, to John's point, I still think is a great, awesome, phenomenal defensive coordinator. I say he is a good head coach, but that's a story for another time. What this team was able to do with the diverse coaching staff, from the minorities to the women who were implementing and making sure that this team was well prepared each and every week. Did they suffer losses? Of course they did. It's the NFL. You gonna lose. Let's just be very clear about it. There's only one team in NFL history that has gone undefeated in a full season from start to finish. Has not happened since 1972, before any of us were born. So guess what? I don't see it happening. Patrick Mahomes, you want to go 20-0, prove me wrong, but I just don't see it. When I look at Tampa Bay, when I look at everybody that is back and living in the area and just feeling the energy, I'm not going to sit here and talk stats and analytics with you. I'm going to get into my emotions here for a minute, and this is what I'm going to tell you. I look at this team, and here's what I know. This city, this community, this town, Raymond James Stadium, they have enveloped whatever Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, and that entire staff. They are drinking the Kool-Aid. They are feeling it, and they know that their time is now. So we can talk about running it back, and we can talk about they're going to win the division, but at the end of the day, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are focused on one thing, and that is winning Super Bowl 56. Nothing else matters. So when I look at their schedule, are they going to have a couple hiccups? Yeah. And people aren't going to like what I say, but guess what? It's the sports arena. I share my love with everybody, but I'm also going to share what I spew my hate sometimes. I'm going to tell you right now, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to go 5-0 to start the season. They're going to beat Dallas, Atlanta, the Rams, the Patriots, and the Miami Dolphins. Megan, John, sorry, I'm just calling it like it is. But Tampa's going to be on such a high that when they come to the 215 on a short week, yeah, they're going to take that first L to Philly. I said it. Don't care if you like me. I'm still going to spew it. Let's get back to the rest of the schedule, shall we? Tom Brady, as Alex said, is going to make sure that they redeem themselves, particularly himself, when it comes to Chicago. Mike, to your point, you're absolutely right. If the Saints don't get the Bucs on Halloween, they ain't getting them. But it doesn't matter, because at that point, you're going to be at the very least 6-2. I say you're going to be 7-1 going into your bye. Here's where it gets tricky. Washington, New York, Indianapolis. The Bucs suffer 3 losses back to back to back. After that, they torch the Atlanta Falcons. They lose to the Buffalo Bills. Listen, Buffalo is my ride or die AFC team. As long as they got my man who got Diggs and they got that boy Josh Allen, who I saw at the combine throw 70 yards to make all NFL head coaches stand up and be like, whoa, that's what's going to happen. The rest of the schedule, Mama Carrot-Tenuto, I love you. Please don't take me out the will. But yes, the Bucs are going to lose to the Jets. They're going to beat the Jets, excuse me. They're going to beat the Saints, and they're going to beat the Panthers twice. But I say that game January 9th, we talk about games that we're looking forward to. Whether that game means something or doesn't mean something, I think those two teams are still going to fight it out because, as Alex said earlier, Carolina's going to remind you, we on your heels. You can tap dance all you want, but we coming for you. And it's fine if you take it this year, Tampa. We expect you to take it this year, Tampa. But guess what? We in your sights. We in your peripheral. We right behind you. Don't sleep on the Carolina Panthers. So when I look at this schedule, I have to say 12-5. And I say that with the notion that Tampa is going to remind people this was not a one-hit wonder. This was not something that was going to happen once in a generation. Jason Light, for all the hate that people have spewed and saying we need to fire this man, how could you keep Jameson? We've had so much other talent that we have let come and go through this Raymond James Stadium. This team is built to win today. Tom Brady, what is the one thing about Tom Brady? That man don't think about tomorrow, and he damn sure don't worry about the past. He is in the present. He is in the moment. That's what this team is. Bruce Arians is bought in. Todd Bowles is bought in. Byron Leftwich is bought in. Tom Brady is bought in. And the rest of the team, I said it last year, I say it again this year. Everything falls into place for the success of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And I said Dallas losing to Bucs week 1. I didn't say we was winning that one. I said we were beating New Orleans.
I got you. I got you.
Tampa's offense is going to be prolific.
It's going to be something to see, and I'm glad that I am here to actually watch it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here on the Sports Arena tonight for everybody. Those who wish to stick around, we are going to do a very short smoking section. Got some things I need to get off my chest. But for Megan Price, 806 in the sip-off, Alex Fleming, Florida Summer Review, Fancy and Flavors, Ty Ray, Say What, Say It Again, Sports Talk Show, Mike Carrot-Tenuto, Believe in the Pac-12 podcast, and John Scheer, Sideline Sports Networks, and the Cardinal Kane, brother. Love what you're doing over there, man. Congratulations to you. Your man, Eric Wilson, for the Sports Arena. We're going to ride out here. We're going to come back to you in just a moment with our smoking section.
This program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
I got something real heavy to lay on you, man.
Now that's what I need.
Please feel free to join us in the smoking section because we with all the smoke.
For God's sake, strap yourselves down.
Welcome, everybody, to the smoking section. As the warning label has stated, we are going to get some things off our chest that may not be the nicest and they may not be the prettiest, but damn it, we got to say what we want to say. I'm going to start with my man, Mr. John Shear from Sideline Sports Network, then go to my man, Mr. Michael Caratanudo, Alex Fleming, and then, of course, your man, Eric Wilson, will round it out. So that being said, Mr. John Shear, the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about veterans in sports. I feel like there's so many veterans on free agency. And I saw Tony Jefferson, for example, today finally get signed by the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I know money plays a big part. You know, age, obviously, the wear and tear play a big part. But there's just so many players in sports, great veteran players that deserve a job, that don't have a job. There's just so many. There's a lot of bad players on teams that shouldn't be on teams. And I don't understand why guys like that, Morgan Moses, guys like that, just stay on free agency. You know, if you're really trying to do the best you can in the NFL, why, or in any sport, why do you let guys like that just sit around and not get picked up? There's just, I was looking at the NFL list. There's so many great players that Richard Sherman, guys like that just sit. I mean, even lower tier guys that are fantastic players, maybe not the best in the league, but they're really good role players that deserve a spot on teams. And I just never understood why players like that just sit. I understand money and wear and tear and age and things like that. I get the game. But how can you let just a guy like that, guys like that sit on free agency? It just makes no sense to me. They know what they're doing in the NFL and in sports more than I do. But that just never made sense to me how Tony Jefferson takes this long to get signed, or Morgan Moses or Richard Sherman or guys like that. So that always bothered me. That's something I wanted to get off my chest.
Okay, sorry. So speaking of veterans, I'm going the opposite route. Obviously, Memorial Day passed by, and yesterday, the anniversary of D-Day. I love to give a shout out to all, obviously, military vets that have served the country, but played sports too. And getting to meet quite a few throughout the years has always been awesome. And again, we always thank everybody and appreciate having family that's been in the military, a lot of close friends, but just athletes and stuff like that. And obviously being here in Arizona, Pat Tillman went to Arizona State, what he meant, obviously, to the fabric in the Cardinals, and just when everything happened with 9/11 and him just saying he had a bigger calling. And it's if you haven't seen it, I don't even want to spoil it for you. I'm not even going to paraphrase it. You need to YouTube his interview after the tragedy on 9/11. But everything, again, keeping this smoking section, obviously different than a disclaimer, a little more positive. But yes, always give a shout out to vets that serve the country, and when they come back and then they get to if they've come back and they lived out their dream playing a sport and doing something they always love to do. I mean, it even started back. I can be a little bit of a homer right now, obviously being a Cowboys fan, but knowing like the history of Roger Staubach, obviously being in the Naval Academy, and again, getting to the Cowboys a little bit late, but David Robinson too in basketball. Again, people that have been through academy, served the country, just wanted to give them a shout out, and everybody, again, honor them. Again, like Eric and I always say, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all, but you have a lot of nice things you can say to those people.
I got two. The first one will be quick. The second one, I'll go deep. I never, for the rest of my life, want to hear LeBron James be compared to Michael Jordan. Here's why. Michael Jordan was on a pathetic team that used to sell out the stadium in an indoor hockey league before he became a Chicago Bull. His own coach, Dean Smith, told him to leave college because you're wasting your talent. And he took a team that had no love, had drug abusers and users, and didn't give a damn just getting an NBA paycheck, and turned them into a dynasty. LeBron James went to a team that was garbage, took a team to the NBA Finals, got swept by San Antonio, got in his feelings, and then formed a super team in Miami, and then came back when it was a super team in Cleveland, because they had not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 first-round picks. Then decided to leave Cleveland and make another super team in LA. There's this thing called loyalty. Michael Jordan is a king. He made his community better. He made Chicago better. He's the reason why the United Center has a stadium and a statue in front of him. LeBron James is a mercenary, and you couldn't have played in the 80s or 90s because that Detroit Pistons squad would each punk ass down. No. Number 2, I find it funny when athletes talk about mental health. How long do they have to entertain America before they get the benefit of the doubt from you? Naomi Osaka withdrew from an Open because she was dealing with depression. Yet, every single time that she tried to do it the right way, she receives grief from American civilians who's supposed to be on her side. Now, these same American civilians who root against Venus and Serena Williams now all of a sudden want to say, what about your mental health? You knew what you signed up for. That's why you make all your money. You got to protect your chicken and your mental. Marshawn Lynch said that best. But yet all of a sudden when Roger Federer wants to take a week or 2 off because he's worried about his legs, it's nice and quiet. So I just find it funny what athletes get the benefit of the doubt and who doesn't. Take care of number 1. I'm rooting for you, Naomi Osaka. Oh, and I'm still rooting for the Venus and Serena Williams sisters too, even though most of America isn't.
It has been roughly about 2.5 to 3 weeks. And for a league that stands for social injustices, and for a league that is the epicenter for making sure that there is true diversity and true equity and true inclusion within their organization, they're throwing stones from a glass house. I still have yet to hear from the WNBA with regards to what Isaac Barnett and his derogatory comments made to the general manager and head coach of the Chicago Sky, James Wade. I have made calls in trying to get an answer. I have been told that the league has in fact done an investigation, but no result has come of this. How can you speak of being an organization that exemplifies or is supposed to exemplify true equality, but you have not given accountability to what has happened to one of your own? Something needs to be done. Because if you're going to talk about it, then you damn sure better be about it. And once again, I am calling on the commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, to make a statement, to follow up with this investigation, to show some loyalty to your coaches, and actually put some action behind those words.